Hello and welcome to another episode of Who Knew in the Moment, the podcast. I'm your host, Phil Friedrich, and today I'm honored to have Johnny Raushi back with me, the founder of Johnny Slicks. And once again, I said back with me. We had a part one, we'll call it,
Yep.
probably about 18 months ago, almost 2 years ago now. And, the business has just continued to grow and excel. And so, what we want to do is highlight the pivotal moments that have led to the growth. So, from $300 needed to invest into the company to six-figure months now, a big growth and development. So Johnny, thanks so much for being on.
Yeah, I will say, and thank you so much for having me again, man. Like podcast, dude. You're different, man, and the energy you bring, I'm like honored to be on again. Like we were saying, like part two. I'm hoping there's going to be a part 18 at some point. You know what I mean? I don't plan on stop growing, and I love being on these things. So thank you so much for having me, man. And we were even talking about six-figure months back then. Like we're getting into seven-figure here soon, so like I got a lot to unravel, and a lot of like little things that we did to really get us to that point. And it's not something like we went to some like big college and learned these things from these experts. Like it's real life things that we did internally that made these drastic changes, and I can't wait to unravel them all with you, man.
Yes, sir. And I got to give a little shout out to the company, the different products they've got. So they have a lot of great products. We got one here. I'm a user of it, and I have to say that I'm a we'll just say walking billboard now because since I started using it, I got a girlfriend. So I'm add me to the list. Add me to the list here.
Oh, I have to say this then. Okay, so myself and Johnny Slicks is not liable for any injuries or pregnancies that may occur from the products. Now, you do become like a walking billboard, but more than that, you become like this sensation. Like neck snapping looks will happen, and I won't take credit for getting you your girlfriend, but you're welcome. You're welcome for that. You know.
Yes. Oh, I love it, man. But no, honestly, great products though, and we'll
Thank you.
jump into it and how it
Thank you.
happens. But um, once again, just kind of recapping a little bit of the business. Really notice that hey, certain products in the overall ecosystem of beard and hair care just didn't have ingredients that were going to be healthy and beneficial to your hair. And so you went through the long, grueling process of figuring out, all right, how the heck can I make this and have it be healthy for individuals' hair and not be harmful in the future. So since the beginning, I'm sure there's a lot of testing and trials and additions, and
Absolutely.
I know just from sense there's been a lot of changes. But for you, talk a little bit about the overall breadth of products that you guys offer right now.
Yeah, so the biggest product line we offer right now is called our Beast Wash line. It's our shower product line, so body wash, shampoo, conditioner, and bar soap. And I think that unfortunately, there's been this like miscommunication or misunderstanding when it comes to like cosmetics and our body's effects of it, like how we're affected by the products. Our skin is the largest organ, it
Yeah.
absorbs like a sponge. And unfortunately, what we don't realize is going our day to day, we're busy with our heads down. We're busy with what's in our hands, working, earning a living, and spending time with the people we care about. We don't have time to worry about, well, what's being absorbed into my skin.
Hmm.
And when you go outside, the sun hits you, UV is getting cooked on your skin. It's damaging your skin, and the products are being melted and absorbed, as well as the sweat. It's all just helping absorb into your body. And then we wonder why we have headaches and we have skin illnesses and we can't have moistured skin. It's constantly dry. There's people who have been using the same type of lip balm their whole life, and their lips are constantly chapped. Like
Yeah.
it's not solving issues, it's just exacerbating or continuing an issue. So what I found was in the shower specifically, men, we're weird in the shower. Like we do like armpits, groin, and we call it a day and we bail. Like so once I learned that, and I had to do something about it. And I'm not an expert when it comes into application of things like loofahs or a rag or using this and using that. There's other people that are experts at that, but I'm damn good at making a product. So what I did was I put walnut shells in the body wash as an exfoliator. So us dudes, when we do just this, it's actually exfoliating naturally. You don't need to like get a rag. You don't need dudes. You don't got to do laundry. Don't worry. Everything is built into the product. But what I learned was people were using these chemical filled products that are like every day off the shelf. Those companies that are making those products get sued, and then they file it away for 3 million, 30 million, whatever it be, and they just change the label and then
Mm.
resend it out. And it's just a constant cycle that everybody's stuck in. And people, it's like there's research showing it can penetrate the fetus, some of these ingredients that are in these products. So it's affecting our youth in their genes, in their DNA. It's affecting them like that harsh. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hawaii has banned how many cosmetics, sunscreens, and all this stuff because it's affecting the fish's reproduction. But you
Mm.
can go to the store and buy it for $4.99. Like, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I once I kind of stepped back in the industry and I saw that this issue is not going away anywhere. I decided to take a change, do something different, and offer something not only that's going to help you, but cure. I shouldn't say cure. I'm not a doctor by any means. I'm not. I'm just a guy who like has computers and I can research and do that. Um, but it essentially like your thinning hair issues, your dry skin issues, these things, they'll go away by stopping the chemical filled products,
Mm.
but it won't get better. So you need something like shea butter, coconut oil, argan oil, jojoba oil, which is everything I put into our products. So you're not only leaving chemical filled products, but you're using something that's going to benefit you as well. So it's a two punch kind of swing, you know.
Yeah.
And the body wash line, or I should say the beast wash line, all the shower products is so crucial because in the shower, a lot of us take hot showers. Your pores are open, your follicles are open, and it's just like feed me. And if you're just
Yeah.
dumping formaldehyde, methochlorine, color red 7, like you're pouring these things into your open pores and going about your day and you're like, man, I have a headache. I'm gonna go to the doctor and get a pharmaceutical drug. And
Mm.
then it's just like you're in the cycle.
Yeah.
And what my goal is to educate people to figure, just ask a question, just pick up your product, read the ingredients and say, I don't know what that is. Let me do a quick blah blah blah. Oh, it's synthetically man-made in China. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and bail like
Yeah.
on that. You know what
Right.
I mean? And when
Yeah.
people do that, they see most of the time it's in their shower. It's not so much, and granted, like women, please look at your makeup. Like just look at your makeup. I don't know anything about makeup, but I can't read a single ingredient on any makeup. It's wild. Most of the problems are in the shower, and
Mm.
that's where we encounter the most chemical on our completely naked, open pored body. Do you know what I mean?
Yes. Yeah.
So we make pomades and we make beard washes and we make all these other stuff, which is like very good because dudes, we lose our hair way too early. And the cosmetic industry convinced us that it's not them, it's you, it's your hormones, it's your issue, and not it has nothing to do with us. Meanwhile, it's completely backwards. You know, there's no reason why a 16-year-old boy should be having male pattern baldness. Do you know
Mm.
what I mean? Like
Yeah.
he hadn't even gone through puberty all the way, but he's thinning, you know?
Yeah.
That's definitely not a him issue. That's like it could be a hormonal thing, but that caused from, let's look at the root, the cosmetics and the chemicals that we're just dumping on our bodies. Um, so we make the pomades and we make beard wash and everything, but the biggest line we have right now that's selling like I can't even we've seen 58% growth month to month, right? But on the beast wash line, it's like 258%. Like it's
Wow.
absolutely wild the amount of beast wash that's being sold. And the responses that we're getting back from people that they can just literally take their Head and Shoulders and dump it out. And if you're
Yeah.
using Head and Shoulders, please like you need to do a little bit of research, you know, see why you're using that. But they're just able to dump that, replace their own thing with healthy products that
Yeah.
smell good, that get you girlfriends, that like make you clean, that make you clean, and you
Yeah.
can read everything on the ingredient label. You know what I mean? So like
Yeah.
that's my goal and that's my purpose is to educate and help people and then offer the solution that I took the time to research, craft, and create for you guys.
I love that. Now, I want to jump into the business element of what you just said there. And that is, when we first talked, we talked about the beginning of creating the pomade, and that was really your driving force. And
Yeah.
then we've started to add additional lines in the business. And so I want you to talk to, someone that is walking through their phase of life where they're like, I originally thought I wanted to go this direction. And it's not that I can't keep going, but there's other avenues that have opened up since that I want to step into, right? Because you could
Yeah.
have easily just kept going down the one lane, right? Hey, I just
Yeah.
want to do the beard and hair oils. I don't want to move into the body wash, but it was a natural progression for the business. And
Yeah.
because you did that, you're seeing big growth, right? So
Yeah.
talk a little bit
Absolutely.
about, maybe pivoting from the original idea and stepping into, an additional option.
Yeah. And I will say, like, we're still very, very much pomade Like,
Yeah.
or I still love pomades. Like, I'm by no means taking a step off of pomades. It was our first $1 million product, and we've had two since that were also pomades. So like, it's a driving force that I still believe in. But ultimately, my purpose, and I had to step back, and we were talking off this
Yeah.
just briefly, talking about my purpose. What is my purpose? And I need to come to a stop and ask, what is John's purpose here? What am I doing? Am I just making pomades? Am I like,
Yeah.
am I just making that, or is there something more?
Mm.
And I came to the conclusion that ultimately, yes, pomades, it is a good thing. But my ultimate purpose, like I said, is to educate and to help people.
Yeah.
Pomades, it did that for its like a little niche of demographic. But then I started to unravel the bigger issues, other things,
Yeah.
more audiences. There's more people. People are like, what's a pomade? It's French for ointment. Why do I need that? You know what I mean? Like, I
Yeah.
don't need that. But everybody showers, like everybody washes their ass, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
like not everybody uses pomade. So I can reach the pomade demographic and be like, guys, just look at your like I'm a terrible salesman. I just can talk, right? But I'm like, guys, just look at the pomade you're using. Can you read the ingredients? Like that's it. But not everybody has a pomade. But
Yeah.
now I can go, hey guys, just look at your shampoo. Just look at your body wash. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Ask where, not just what's in this, but where was this made? Was this
Yeah.
like chopped 5 months ago in China, or was this handcrafted right down the road by a dude? You know what I mean? That I see in
Yeah.
versions. So like, there's a lot of that unraveling, and the pomade community is. I love the pomade community, but the body wash is just bigger. And my purpose is to reach every single person that is affected, not only negatively, but affected by this industry's like miscommunication of it. You know, like
Yeah.
if you have thinning hair, your pre-notion of what that is probably wrong because you're going off of whatever's the screen's telling you without doing more research, because we trust, naturally we trust everything, right?
Yeah.
So my job is to just have you question it, and the
Mhm.
question might lead to you being right back in the same seat. You're like, I'm good, my body wash is good.
Yeah.
That's cool, man, but just get used to asking questions, because once you stop, that's it. Like you're done,
Yeah.
that's it. So not pivoting, not solely pivoting, but pivoting into something bigger, a
Yeah.
bigger issue, a bigger demographic, drastically important. I went from public speaking at like little uh conference centers to going live on social media, millions and millions of people. Do you know what I mean? It's just a
Yes.
bigger, broad thing, in order for me to get my purpose out there.
Yeah. Now, when you go bigger, there is scaling that has to happen, right? And there's multiple levels of that. There's
Yeah.
people, there's financial, there's marketing, there's the business, right? I mean, there's so many levels. So let's talk about bigger. Bigger always sounds better, but oftentimes there are hurdles and obstacles along the way. So talk a little bit
Constantly.
about how you've grown, first, just from a people standpoint. And I know, like you mentioned, we talked a little bit about your leadership and how that's had to grow and how Rebecca's leadership's had to grow. So talk a little bit about infrastructure growing that way, and then also just some of the self growth that's happened from having to lead more.
Yeah. And a bigger is always better, like always. But you have to be, if you can open your mouth, you need to be willing and able to take the bite and chew it properly and
Mm,
not let it affect other people. So
yeah.
when it comes to like going out and wanting more, you need to make sure that you're not only capable, but you truly do envision yourself taking that bite, because it's
Yeah.
happen, and you need to be prepared for the actions. You made that decision. You're the reason you're standing right here dealing with these problems that you're dealing with. To
Yeah.
me, it's an opportunity to grow. I don't believe in problems. Everything's a tuition payment. Every failure is a step closer to success. And that's like the most cliche thing, but it's called extreme accountability. I'm accountable
Yeah.
for the actions and the reason why I'm standing right here. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So when it comes to people, everybody was on board with it. Everybody understands the purpose and the direction the company is going. We're really transparent. We have open and honest communication at our company as one of our core values. So being able to say, hey, this is where I envision the company. Does
Yeah.
anybody, any struggles, any stressors, anything we're going to deal with? Let's go ahead and like bring them to the surface now so we can attack them. One most important thing, communication.
Yeah.
Single most important thing. If you lack communication, that is the reason you have problems in your life. Any stressor you have in your life, it's a communication error. There's no such thing as accidents. It's a communication error, and everything can be prevented with proper communication. That's just how it is.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
If you live a reactive life, if you're constantly being reactive to things, start working on your communication internally. You are the root of everything. So if you are seeing issues and stressors in life, it's the law of mirrors. You're reflecting it.
Yeah.
Learn this whole bookshelf here is based on communication. All of these books, how to influence, how to trust, how to build
Yeah.
communication. It's the single most important thing, because I'm a visionary. So I have visions in here of where the company wants to be. And if I fail to communicate that to my team, then we're all paddling in different directions. We're all going
Yeah.
someplace else and causing stress and frustrations. That's not how you get to where you want to go. So getting with the team and realigning our goals, adding some extra commas, like the
Yeah.
bigger, the bigger, the bigger. It just came down to making sure everybody here was able to elevate, bringing some more people underneath them, having them coach and train them so then they can also elevate. Because if I'm looking to elevate, everyone also needs to as well.
Yes.
And just like ships at sea, we all rise, but we all need to want to rise. I'm not going to make
Yes.
anyone do anything. So getting everybody on the same board with the clear communication, transparent, honest communication, number one step. And then when it came into, can we produce more? Can we
Yeah.
actually physically be making more? And that's something that we've always dealt with. We've started this business. Like you said briefly, $300 was my best month. I was doing that in my kitchen. I made those pomades you're holding. I
Yeah.
had 6 of them at a time. I would sell 6 of those a week. And it was like, oh, we're doing it.
Yeah.
Now we're making over 750,000 SKUs. You know what I mean? Like they're
Yeah.
cooking a lot over here. And we just acquired another 1,250 square foot. So the
Wow.
lab where we make the products manufacturing is only 2,500 square feet. And the actual cooking is half of that, because most of it's storage and like, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
are we able to make like 8 figures of beast wash shower products, or do we have the machinery? These are
Yeah.
things that we're constantly trying to reinvent, trying to like figure out, troubleshoot, MacGyver machines to try to put them together. And luckily, I don't know anything about this stuff. Like I know how to write formulas and stuff, but this team here, they are like all stars, man. Like these guys can take it and run. So and that comes into communication, like finding the right people, putting them in their skill sets and letting them
Mhm.
just go, just giving
Yeah.
them the energy to run. You know what I mean? It's drastically changed the business. And Rebecca's like killing it too, man. She's
Yeah.
she's the CEO, COO. And for some reason she could see all the operations in her head. And I'm like, what are you talking? I'm like trying to take that. Like, I don't know what you're talking about. She's handling all of these moving pieces.
Yeah.
It comes down to finding your personal core values, communicating them, and nonstop communicating and living your core values, and you'll attract other people that are very similar to you. And if you're open and honest to those people about what you want and your goals, dude, all of a sudden this guy knows a guy that can help you. All of a sudden that guy went to school for that, and he has a textbook that he can give you. Like you just need to
Yeah.
be communicating your goals and your vision to people that are like-minded, and it all starts with like internal. So the business has drastically grown, and I'm not saying it's due to me by any means at all. It's like 100, like the team is like
Yeah.
they're real killers, man. These guys are attacking the hill, and I have to tell them to slow down sometimes. But it's communicating. It's the biggest thing. So
Yeah.
infrastructure is good, but it starts with that communication, because
Yeah.
everybody's a team effort, man. We went from, I think last time we spoke, like maybe 8 team members here or 7 team members. We have
Yeah.
21 now, 21 people. I think
Yeah.
22 actually. So and they all fit the core values. I found out each one of their strengths, and they're all just doing it, man. I like whatever I can do to fit them up, round them up, and let them go. Like they're running it. So it is really rad that the company kind of it grows, um, and the problems seem to get bigger, but they're the same stressors. They're the
Yep.
same problems we dealt with back then. I got a Shopify loan back in 2018. It was 300. I think it was $300. I think it was. It was like a $300 loan, and I was like sweating. I was like, "What am I going to do? 300. I can't pay it back." And before we actually officially started, I had charged off credit cards. My car got repoed. We were
Yeah.
selling plasma, like to buy ingredients and stuff. So $300 like is a commitment to me.
Right.
Now you add 2 more commas to it, and I'm like, do it, run it, let's go. We need the money, let's go. So
Yeah.
it's not a matter of the problems go away. It's a matter of I'm now able to solve it because of my experience, my failures, and my team and their
Yes.
failures and experiences, which is really, really rad, man. And that's something that I think is the more we grow, the more I'm getting to understand that the problems, they don't go away.
Yep.
They'll never go away. But how I
Yep.
handle it and how I perceive it as not a problem or an opportunity to learn is like
Yeah.
that's the key, man. And then
Yes.
having everybody on the same page is like is I don't know, man. It's just next level. If for sure is next level.
I love everything you just said. I'm gonna encourage people to rewind about 60 seconds and listen to that again. But there's a couple of things I want to unpack there. One of them is you said, hey, one of our company beliefs is that we want open and honest, transparent communication. And I
Yeah,
think everyone says that, and then you get in work environments and you're like, people are afraid to speak their mind.
yeah,
With what I've seen from you guys, that's not the case. Like what you're saying and what is lived out is the same thing. So how for you as the leader do you really model that for people, make it an open and safe environment? And then secondarily, for people inside the organization, what do you think it is about the way you're leading that makes them feel like, all right, what Johnny's saying is truly what he means. It's not just, lip
yeah,
service to make me
yeah.
feel like I can say it, and then I'm the, odd man out here.
Yeah, and I that comes down to action. So
Yeah.
I'm naturally extremely empathetic towards people. I can, for some reason, I was born with it. I can easily put myself in someone's shoes and
Yeah.
see where they're seeing. I can see myself from someone else's perspective in my head. It's wild. It's wild. So like for me to be empathetic to somebody, I can read body language really well. I've always had this knack for just reading people, understanding, and making people feel comfortable and having good relationships. It's just come very natural to me. Um, but it comes down to vulnerability. As you know, like we sold plasma. We like I
Yeah.
Googled at 22 how to file bankruptcy.
Yeah.
Like I was terrified. I didn't know what to do. Electric got turned off, water got turned off. I worked part-time at a gas station. At night, I'd go and pick up change to put gas in my car so I can go to the plasma center to sell. You know what I mean? So like
Yeah.
I'm not some guy that's like up here in Hollywood that's like, unreachable. I'm a normal dude. And I'm
Yep.
sitting at my computer desk like, I don't know what's going to go on tomorrow. I don't know what's going to happen tonight. I'm figuring it out just like everybody else is. So it comes down to being vulnerable. Just honest and open communication is not just a one-way thing. You have to be vulnerable. You have to strip naked and say, these are my flaws.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with it because I'm working on me. I understand that I'm flawed. I'm not perfect and I don't pretend to be. And I've been saying that a lot lately, and I think I'm going to keep saying it. So I'm a guy that I don't like to mess with ecosystems of people's energy or vibe or anything. So when I walk into a place, I like this is mine. This is my place, right?
Yeah.
I don't walk in here like it's my place because it's their place. Do you
Mm.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're the ones that are working. They are the ones that have the energy. They have the flow. They're cranking away. I'm just the guy that's here on the computer. You know what I mean? So when
Yeah.
I come into their ecosystem, I don't bring in my ego system. I don't
Mm.
walk in there with like a, where's my coffee? Where, you know what I mean? Like that's not me, and that's not how I lead my people. It's not fear based, it's respect based. They want to work here. They enjoy working here. So we start off meetings. We talk about a personal win and a professional win. And we just get into it, man. I'll
Yeah.
talk about my vulnerabilities. I'll talk about my struggles. I'll talk about where my biggest headaches, my biggest hangups, why I'm hesitant to doing this. And I think because I don't know for sure, but I think that's what leads to them being able to be transparent and open as well.
Yeah.
And then actions, obviously. So I strive to be a dude, and I'll never achieve this all the way, the day I die, maybe, but I strive to be a dude who says and does what he actually is going to do. So if I say I'm going to do it,
Yep.
I strive to be a guy who does it. And that's
Yeah.
it. Cut black and white. There is no if and a but. There is no, if I say I'm going to be here at 2, I'm there at 2. And I'm a dude that shows up when I say that. So
Yeah.
constantly doing that and being that for people, saying, hey, if you have any stressors going on out here, outside of these windows, outside of this lab, let me know about it. And then when something happens and I'm there like that, actions, that's what
Yes.
speaks. And it's the repetitive nature of doing that. I tell all my guys, your mind and your body are separate. And if they're separate, neither are worth anything. They need to be
Mm.
together. So if you're thinking about being at home, I can't have you making body wash. Like you're
Yep.
not, I don't need your body. I need mind and body. So if something out there is troubling you, come to me, man. I'll figure out something we can do to get your mind and body back together. And then when they do, following through with it and doing it, that's just it. You know what I mean? It's just being
Yeah.
there, being vulnerable, and being the guy who says and does the same thing.
I love that. Now, a second thing that you had said originally was just that, it first starts with communicating where you want to go. And I think part of that is what we were talking about. And that is sometimes you have to take a little time to pause to see where you want to go.
Yep.
And I think for so many people, one, they get so consumed in the business that they can't focus on where the business is going. But
Yep.
second is having someone in your life that, if you can't see the direction, can give you some direction. I know, once again, you've partnered with Nick in this, and
Yep.
I don't know the specific role he has today, but I know in the beginning it was very, in depth with you, and he
Yeah.
was kind of hands on. But I think, once again, maybe talk a little bit about being willing to take a step back from day to day and being so focused on the specifics to saying, all right, what's the vision of the company? Where do I see it going? And then second, if I can't see a big enough vision, how do I surround myself with people that can help me see what's possible?
Yeah, yeah, awesome, man. I will say, starting off, I didn't understand this metaphor analogy back in the day. You know the saying, "Heavy is the head who wears the crown."
Hmm. Yeah.
So that saying, I never understood it, and it's because of decision making, right? It's a decision making thing. The king has a lot of big decisions to make. So yeah, he's all this glamour and stuff.
Yeah.
So the reason he's at the top of the castle, the reason why he's at the top is not. I'm sure it came off as egotistical, but it's so he can see everything.
Yeah.
He's working on the kingdom, not in the kingdom. So
Yep.
the same thing comes in. I have my head down and I could be working on pomades for like the greatest art schools in the world. There's breaks where they step back and look at the whole canvas.
Yeah.
Everything successful that you want, if you're just staring at it through a microscope, you're never going to see the big picture because you're not providing yourself an opportunity to see the big picture. So
Yeah.
stepping back and looking on what you're working on and not in it allows you the time to, one, breathe, and to resettle and redirect where you're going. So I use a metaphor all the time. I believe that when as soon as we're born, picture yourself like on a rowboat in the middle of the ocean, no land in sight. It's the middle of the night. Your goal is not to lose weight. I'm sure it could be, but
Yeah.
your goal is to just find any star in the sky that looks good to you, point at it, and start rowing in that direction. You
Mm.
don't have any other, you don't have a compass, you don't have nothing. You were just
Yeah.
born.
Yeah.
So, and just like everybody, we're born that way. You set your own goals. So, and along the way, you're paddling, you meet other people that are also going in that direction. They might not be going to the same star,
Yeah.
they might be going somewhere near it. But for the meantime, let's put our boats together and row together, right?
Yep.
Rowing in the same direction. And we'll part ways. You go for your goal and I go to my goal. But in the meantime, let's help each other. I think that's one super crucial to be able to stop and readjust your pack,
Yeah.
look at where you're going. Because there are times where you stop and you're like, actually, hold on. Is that a good goal?
Yeah.
Can I do something different? Is that still what I want? And if you don't provide yourself an opportunity to do that, you're just going to be grinding away. And every single day you wake up, your vocation now becomes your job. You're just
Mm.
working there and you're not
Yep.
loving it. You're not passionate about it. And you build resentment towards that. And
Yep.
I'm a person that believes that you have your physical body and you also have your inner person. You have your like
Yeah.
inner here, right? And if your inner guy is trying to say like, I don't want to do this anymore, man, like I don't want to do this, but your physical body is just plowing away at it, like you're going to start to have inner conflict. You're going to have that like friction, stressors,
Yeah.
frustration. And that's one thing, man. You could tell somebody sorry, but you can't say sorry to yourself. You need to
Mm.
show it through
Yeah.
action. Only way your subconscious is going to know it. So I think just being able to stop, readjust, and it might still be good. Like I still want to make Johnny Slick's products, right? That's not going to change by any means at all. But I think I need to stop and be like, what is my big purpose here? What am I doing? Oh, it's not
Yeah.
just palming. It's
Yeah.
educating, helping everybody. Well, what's everybody using? Shower products. Let's kind of go towards that a little bit. You know what I mean? So it's
Yeah.
not a matter of like, oh, the business is going to suffer if I stop for 2 weeks. And you know what I mean? Like, no, man, it's going to thrive for that 2 weeks. It might look like it from the small scale, but taking a step back
Yeah.
now you're going to redirect this thing and it's going to run. When
Yep.
you thought it was running before, it was just walking. Now we're sprinting. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And there are times, I believe everybody should have a partner, whether it's a spouse or a best friend or a mentor. Somebody, you should always have somebody. It's
Mhm.
really hard for us to say, okay, now is the stopping point. Like it's hard to do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Naturally.
Yeah.
But for someone to come up and tap you on the shoulder and be like, hey man, let's take five. very much easier to do when somebody is with you. And it doesn't matter who it is, as long as they fit your core values and you like them. You know what I mean? You're in line with them, you agree with them, and you have the same vision. For business, I believe in a visionary and an integrator. So Nick is the
Yeah.
integrator and I'm the visionary. I know nothing of infrastructure. I don't know anything about business. I know you're asking business stuff. I know some stuff, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like I have the vision of what Johnny Slicks is and what I
Yeah.
want it to be and what the purpose of it. And Nick has all of the knowledge and expertise and experience on how to make that happen.
Mm,
So
yeah.
you are somebody who has a vision. I have like 30 ideas. Like I have lines of notebooks over here. I just literally write down all my ideas. And I go to Nick, I'm like, hey man, you think this is a good idea? And he's like, nah, that's a bad idea.
Yeah.
But but ultimately, like 99% of them are bad ideas. But if it was up to me, I'd have the entrepreneur like mindset of like, go, go, go. Let's try that.
Yeah.
Let's try this. Let's try that. Let's try that. And I'm just throwing stuff at a wall, hoping to stick. But because there's the opposite, the integrator who
Yep.
knows the systems, knows the operations, and knows the successes, he's able to say, hey man, that's a really good idea. And it looks like you're really happy about it, but it's not going to help. It's actually going to hinder the company. It's probably going to cause us to lose some money and some frustrations. Let's not play whiplash with the team members here. And now we're doing this. Now we're doing this. Let's just stay streamlined. And like honestly, it hurts me, but like you know what I mean? Like not every
Yeah.
idea can happen like that. So
Yes.
if you're a person who's a visionary, find an integrator, find somebody who can straight line you, keep your arrows straight and not let you just go off on tangents, finding shiny objects and just running after them. Like you need to be walking the path, being a dude who says he's going to do the same thing, like I'm
Yeah.
going to make these products and help people. I want to also start a car business. Nah, man, like you right here. This is your lane.
Yep.
And if you're an integrator, find a visionary. If you're somebody who can put systems together and you run these things and you have the ideas of how to operate things, find a visionary and just be like, hey man, how can I give me an idea? Let's make some money on this. You know what I mean? Let me
Yeah.
put it into my systems and make some money. And I do think that duality of people, you just need to find that duality of a person that shares your core values, if that makes sense.
I love that. I absolutely love that. Now, one thing that anyone listening can hear from you is just the passion that you have. Oh, what you got?
Can you
Rocket
see that?
fuel. Yeah.
So this book actually talks about it's by Gino Wickman. It
Yep.
actually talks about um yeah, dude, all I do, it's all about balance. All I do is highlight books. I'm like
I
old school.
love
I
that.
don't Audible or anything. But this book talks about how to identify a visionary, how to identify an integrator, and how to find the duality and the reason. Like Disney, they were
Yeah.
brothers. And like nobody knows about one because he was the integrator. He didn't
Right.
have Disney's vision, but he had the systems in place. And without the other one, it wouldn't be where it is now. So it's like it's
Yes.
very crucial to have that second hand to keep you lined up. You know what I mean?
I love that. I love that. Now, as we're hearing you talk, I mean, you're clearly very passionate about what you do. And I think having a passion for what you're working on is so important for multiple reasons. One, there are days, once again, in your early days for sure, certainly today,
Yeah.
we still have problems. They're just different problems, right? Or they're different opportunities, however we want to phrase that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's like, if you're not passionate about what you're doing, there might be a day where you say, I don't know that's worth it, right? I don't know that it's worth
Yeah.
taking on this problem. Or, hey, there's so much time that I need to be putting into this. I don't know if I want to put in another 14-hour day tomorrow because I'm just not passionate. And a gentleman that we had on the podcast named Alan Stein shared this and he goes, burnout is when the amount of work and effort you're putting in is misaligned with what your goals and your values are.
100%.
And so what I hear you talking about is, you're passionate about not necessarily pomades, not necessarily body soap, not necessarily, shampoo, but you're passionate about helping people live the best opportunity in their life that they can. And part of that is having healthy skin and putting healthy things into your body. So for someone listening right now, and maybe they're in that rut of, do I keep going? Do I, am I supposed to look into something else?
Yeah.
Obviously, you've had plenty of tough times in your journey, but where did you go when you were like, man, my back is really up against the wall? Is this really what I want to pursue? Right? Am I really passionate about the health
Yeah.
piece of this? Or is it just, hey, I could go do something else? Where do you kind of go in that moment?
Yeah. And there's a ton there, but I don't believe in motivation. I believe motivation exists. Like I believe
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
exists, but it cannot be the driving force for why you do what you do. It cannot
Yeah.
be motivation. Like everybody here, like we all have ups and downs, right? And
Yeah.
motivation is an emotion. So if I wake up and I'm super motivated today, I'm gonna film 13 podcasts. I'm gonna buy a house and I'm gonna like go call my mom. I'm gonna do all these things because I'm motivated today. And then something happens.
Yeah.
It's gone. All of a sudden it's gone. And tomorrow I wake up and I don't want to do any of that stuff. And I made all the decisions, but now I got to follow through and I don't want to. You can't make decisions on emotion. You have to make sure it's not just a motivated thing. It is your why. Why do
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
wake up what you wait and do what you do? Your true purpose and what drives you. And I did mention vocation and job. And if for any reason you say, okay, I'm doing what I'm doing now, and a dollar sign pops up or money pops up, it's not your driving force. The
Mm,
money cannot be your why, because there's going to come a point when you resent yourself for making that decision. And then you're going to get to a point where 14-hour working days not only hurt your body, hurt your mind, take you from your family, but are you a guy who says, I'm going to be home for dinner? I take family, I take spirituality, and I take my health seriously. Meanwhile, you spend 14 hours hard labor and you don't do any of that other stuff. Like that's that inner conflict you were talking about. And that's where you're going to be pulled, frictions, frustrations, and it's going to come external. You're going to start lashing out on people because you don't know what to do. But in
yeah.
reality, you're just doing something you're not supposed to be doing. It's not your purpose driven. I think the word meditation has like a lot of twisting in this culture.
Yeah.
In American culture, I think it's kind of like woo woo type things. But meditation is literally like a carpenter cutting wood gets lost in the grain of the wood. That's a form
Yeah.
of meditation. So the way I translate meditation to people, and people meditate millions of different ways. As long as you are physically, mentally, and spiritually all in the same moment, you're meditating, man. It could
Mm,
literally be like you're playing with a piece of clay in your hands. And
yeah.
if you're all in, that's a form of meditation, man. You just keep doing that and you'll start to talk to yourself. Like these things will just come forth. And these frustration points will come forth as well. So when I was doing what I was doing, I got out of the Marine Corps and I was just like grinding in the barber industry and trying to find job to job. And I'm like, what is it I'm supposed to be doing? Like, is this the right thing? Am I helping people? I came down to three things. And because dollar sign did get brought up when I was talking to myself about it.
Yeah.
And I brought it down. Um, Servitude, gratitude, and purpose chasing, growth
Mm,
chasing. So
mm,
as long as I am serving people, serving my
yeah.
community, helping people around me, I'm good. As long as I have gratitude and I'm not spiteful and I'm hateful, and as long as I'm patient, kind, and loving to people, I'm good. And then as long as I'm accountable for the things I do and I'm constantly chasing growth, I'm good. No dollar signs involved. It doesn't,
Yeah.
there's no money involved at all. If like I don't live anywhere outside my means because I don't need to. Um, Servitude, gratitude, and growth, accountability. If
Yeah.
you're living in those three brackets, those three lanes, and you're operating every task, everything you do, when you go to a grocery store and you say hi to somebody, were you serving them? Were you gratitude? And was it growth related? If
Yeah.
you can put those type of things, and that's just for me, everybody has their own things.
Yep.
But if I do something and I'm like, is that good? Should I have done that? If it fits in those three, I'm good. Let's move on. Let's keep going. I don't need to keep questioning that. But if for some reason I didn't show gratitude that to that person, I didn't say thank you for having me on this show, then I'm misaligned. Something's not right, and I gotta solve that and figure it out. And that comes into I just meditate, whether it's
Yeah.
writing, drawing, or sitting silent to myself or anything, as long as I'm there. And then I start to dissolve where the issues arise, prevent them from happening again, and make amends with if anybody was involved. Yeah.
I love that. Now, I think if you had the magic pill, you'd be a gazillionaire and everyone would hire you. And that is how to hire the right people to be passionate and, become an integral part of your business. And part of hiring is it's hard, right?
Yeah, absolutely,
You make a hire and sometimes they're a great fit. Sometimes you thought they're going to be a good fit. And 3 months, a year down the road, it was like, good, potentially good person, just not the right fit. So for
yeah,
you, obviously your passion is very contagious. I could tell that if I came to work for you for a week, I would for sure, latch onto that. But
yeah.
how do you find the right people that are willing to buy into the business, buy into the culture. I know as cliche as a term that is, but that you guys have built.
No, I get it. And we've tried multiple different ways for doing this. So we went originally the route of we don't hire fans. We don't hire anybody like that because I don't want that like conflict of like, oh, you supported the company and now you're in, but you're not a good fit.
Yeah.
Dude, that toss all of that out the window. Only hire fans. These
Mm,
people are already bought into the company.
yeah.
And obviously if you're starting a company, you don't have fans yet, but that's where you just translate your vision, communication. You talk about your passions, and you will find fans naturally.
Love that.
People they go towards people that are like-minded. So slow to hire, quick to fire is a real thing. It really should be a thing because somebody who doesn't fit your culture and doesn't fit your community is going to leech from you, and they're actually going to harm your company. So
Yeah.
the faster you can get them out. Also, it's not firing, you're releasing them to the land of opportunity. These are
Absolutely.
places out there, they just don't fit here, man. It's all good, like love, kindness, like thank you. What can I help you to move on to the next thing? Like, you know what I mean? It's
Yep.
by no means a severance and I hate you, bye. Like, it's never that way. We're human beings, and this, I'm doing my thing, you're doing your thing. We try to paddle together, it's not working out, so and I believe we're operating on an entrepreneur operating system. So this is called EOS.
Yeah.
We use EOS. So we have something called right person, right seat. It's really the only expectations you can manage when it comes to a person. And Origin has a saying. It says, we get to do this. They have a big banner in their warehouse that says that. I believe in that. We get to do this. So when we hire somebody in, people come with problems. You
Mm,
got problems. I got problems. I got more problems than anybody in here. I got more problems than I can count. You know what I mean?
yeah.
I got them all. I got notebooks everywhere. It's a mess. When you hire somebody, you are bringing on their problems as well.
Yep.
And when those problems arise, you can get angry, you can get frustrated, and you can blame them, or you can say, we get to do this. I could outsource and go to China
Yeah.
where I'm hiring a robot and some child somewhere. You know what I mean? Like, I
Yeah.
don't want to do any of that. I want to bring a person in, and with that comes their baggage. Bring it on, man. Like, let's
Yeah.
solve this thing because it's not, Johnny Slicks is not going to be here forever. I hope I don't die standing here but making pomades and stuff. I hope I go on to something else. I hope all of them go on to find their passions, and what can I do to get them on that. So when they come in, most of the time they're already fit with the culture. We have our core values: accountability, growth minded, addicted to growth, all these things. And most of the time they fit. If not, they kind of find their way out. So
Yeah.
if you are really walking, talking, and breathing your core values, people who aren't aligned with that find it uncomfortable. They
Yep.
don't want to be around somebody that doesn't have their same core values. And they're just like, hey, so yeah, I'm out. I'll do two
Yeah.
weeks, but I'm out. I don't fit here. You guys all go to the gym, you all work out. Like, you know what I mean? You hold each other
Yeah.
accountable for their actions. That's not my jive. Like, I'm out. So really it's just, as long as you are embodying your core values with everything you do, people who don't fit, they won't even come. They won't even show up. And then obviously being able to train people. I would never expect somebody to come to me and be able to make every single product on here, or at least be made any products. Most of these guys have never made a single grooming product in their life.
Yeah.
And it would be wild for me to expect people to know that, because when I was doing it, I didn't know anything either. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's my job to make sure that they fit as a right person for the company, and then where do they belong in the company? Because if they fit in the company, I don't care where you go. Like,
Yep.
if you're a part of us, you're a part of our culture and our community, come on in. We'll find a seat for you. What are you really good at? You good with computers? Yeah, cool. Let's put you on customer service. Are you good with people? No? Oh, shoot. Okay. Well, let's figure this out. Can you do data?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
needs exist in the
Yep.
company, the tasks, the jobs. Someone needs to clean the bathroom, someone needs to do this. All of these things exist. I just need to find somebody who fits the company, and then say, what are you really good at? What fires you up? You like making grooming products? Cool. Let's put you in that seat and see how you do. And a lot of times with like org charts, organizational charts, where you get hired, you got hired. Yeah, that's where you are. But for us, like, if you're not fitting here, for instance, we had a team member, Hector. He worked here at fulfillment, over at our fulfillment center down the road. Dude had 100% accuracy rate, literally 100% accuracy rate. But he constantly wore headphones. He never really talked to anybody. He felt really quiet. I never really could get stuff out of him. Sat him down one day after reading EOS book.
Yeah.
I said, hey, man, what's going on? What's going on here? Like, you're really good at the job, but it doesn't seem like you're happy. I had him in the right seat, but he wasn't the right person for that. He was
Mm,
unhappy with it because of the repetitive nature, and he just wasn't challenged. I
yeah.
put him in the lab. He has an 85% accuracy rating, very generous. But he's happy.
Yeah.
He's thriving here as a human being, not just
Yeah.
as for the company. Now he's not a machine. I didn't hire a machine.
Right.
You know, I hired a person. Where do you belong? Where do you thrive as a human being? And where can I put you? So we just moved him over here. He's been with us for 3 years, 4 years now. So like it just comes a matter of being open to change when it comes to people, but also just finding the right people. Just bring the right people in, man. And like they'll
Yeah.
find their seats. If you just empower somebody, like we have a guy here who's really, really good at making beard oils, man. Guess what? He's making beard oils nonstop. Like that's his
Yeah.
job. That's his job, man. He's just killing it. And there's no one that can do it better than him. You know what I
Mm.
mean? Tiger
Yeah.
Woods is terrible at putting. So like the coach that brought him on, or he hired a coach to help
Yeah.
him, the coach was like, man, that's not your strong suit. Like we can't make you an expert on everything. But
Yep.
you're really good at long shot. Let's go ahead and focus on that and make it so you never have to putt. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah.
thing. If you find somebody's skill set, you offer them an opportunity in a work environment to feel comfortable, to bring their skills to the table. And then I notice it and just move them to the right seat and just give them some energy and they fly with it. So when it
I
comes
love that.
to hiring people, just make sure they're the right people, bring them in and figure it out when they get there. Because
Yep.
the hardest thing, man, is having these Indeed jobs. Rebecca does the hiring, and like 3 out of 20 people show up. So
Right.
you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
people don't even show up anymore. So like if you show up, you got a thumbs up in my book. I give you a chance, man. You know,
Yeah.
come on in real quick. And then people who don't fit normally don't call again.
Yep.
We'll call them and be like, hey man, you're good. Come on in. We got some training to do. We'll get you on some Friday workouts. We got a gym, right? A private gym. We
Yeah.
train in. We got all this stuff here. And some people are just like, nah, I don't really want that. And I'm like, cool, man, you saved me and you time. If you need anything
So
else, let me know. That's it.
absolutely.
Move on
I
to the
love
next.
that.
Yeah.
I love that. And I think that ties into what you said earlier with the ecosystem and ecosystem, right? I think
Mhm.
those two things are so important. So,
Crucially.
well,
Yeah.
well, and I know you got things to get done. So one of the things I want to make sure we spend some time in is how you have promoted the business. What you guys have done creativity wise in the social media space and promotion. You build, I think you said earlier, but you build fans, like a fan of the business. It's not just a person buying a product, right? I've never seen someone uh, make posts or make comments about their head and shoulders the way they do about Johnny Slick's products. So talk a little bit about the marketing strategy and how you're really targeting your customers, but not as customers, as really a part of the Johnny Slick's family and organization.
Yeah, and it comes down to the purpose, right? So
Yeah.
like anybody can sell a product. Literally anybody can sell a product, but I
Yeah.
believe in what I'm offering to people. Granted, we all need to make money and make a living. So if it was up to me and currency was not a thing, I would not be selling this stuff. I would be handing them out like
Yeah.
candy. I would
Yeah.
be smacking people for using Head and Shoulders and Tresemme and all the Old Spice. I'd be smacking people for using that and replacing it for no cost. But for like, we all need to make a living.
Yeah.
Um,
Right.
yeah, right. But it comes down to the purpose, like the grand scheme of the purpose. And our purpose is to educate people and help people. So to create a fan club around that is just transparent communication, right? So
Hmm.
going out and saying like, hey guys, like I just learned this research paper came out that this ingredient specifically can penetrate the fetus of a pregnant woman. And it's in every single ultra or ulta in
Yeah.
the country. They're selling this. It's one of their top 10 sellers. So that means that they're literally selling it to pregnant women, knowing it can penetrate the fetus. I'm not saying like this is bad and that's bad. Like all I did was say this is the info that's out. You guys can go do your own research and stuff.
Yeah.
If you're having, and I'm somebody, I had thinning hair, man. I have sensitive skin. I get ingrown hairs here. I used to before using our shave soap, but I used to have like the skin irritations. I had the chapped lips. I had like dry dandruff skin and hair falling out. Like I lived that. I walked that. And then I was able to dissolve the problem and find a solution. So my purpose and the company's purpose is to have you look at your cosmetic, question what is in it, and then obviously you're gonna be like, oh, I hate this. Oh, my hands are empty. What do I do? And I'm like, hey man, don't worry. I already did all the research. Here's a product that's going to help you
Yep.
and fix the problems that they cause. That other one you just tossed out caused. And I think building something around your purpose, not so much around the product,
Yeah.
allows the marketing and allows the fans to keep coming because it's a never-ending thing. There's new research that comes out constantly. There's more companies, and I'm by no means if there's other companies that are using all natural, like truly all natural things, and they're helping people as well, they're not my competition, man. We're doing
Yep.
the same thing. Like we should join forces, right? Like
Yeah.
we're going after something much bigger than us. So like
Yep.
if other people are using companies that like that's not a competition to me. I'm not going to try to talk you out of that. If you're doing it already, if you can pronounce everything on your ingredient list, but it doesn't have a Johnny Slick skull, I'm not going to tell you to toss it out because that's not what I believe in. I believe that we need to be using healthy organic ingredients, things that are going to
Yeah.
benefit us, benefit our blood flow, our hair growth, our skin, you know. Um, and with marketing, just being obviously we like to have fun here, so we do a lot of comedic things. You know, I like dressing up as the beast and running around like an idiot. But is doing things like that that's makes it transparent and real. Like we are real people. Like if I take my laptop and walk out this door, you'll see the entire lab cooking products, and they're real
Yeah.
human beings that drive home, that commute home to go to their families every night. You know what I mean? Like
Yep.
some like big warehouse in Canada or in China or Thailand, like, you know, with like 45 people chopping with no shirts on, chopping soap. Like this isn't what you see that video in like 2020 with the face masks, like them making the
Yeah.
mask. This is not that. It's like, you
Right.
know, so showing people that, showing that what we're doing is real. It's not some facade that's on social media because everybody has distrust on Instagram and social media now because it's all highlights of people's lives. Um, Being transparent with our flaws, going live and talking about what I'm struggling with the company, roadblocks we're encountering. We ran out of shampoo for like a month, so I had to go live and like explain what happened and everything. Like just being there for everybody. Like I'm not
Yeah.
up here just like hiding away, like counting my dollars, like you know, like
Yeah.
what was that? Daffy Duck, the Scrooge Duck. You know, I'm
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
my gold coins somewhere in a vault. Like I'm really here trying to problem solve and help people. And the more we post about that, and the more we talk about that, and the more we not only talk about it but show it, the fan club is just going to grow, and people are going to come. Like we have to turn people. No, we're not hiring right now. Sorry, no, we're not hiring, but we're going to keep your name on it. You know what I mean? Like we're turning
Yeah.
people away because of this form. I can stand here all day and be like, this is the best body wash ever. It has activated charcoal in it and it's good for you. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
that's not realistic. Like this isn't just that. This is way more than this. It'll get you a girlfriend, you know? But like it'll clean your skin and then have you wonder, wow, I can read everything on this. What else was I confused about? Let me go look at my food. Hold on, I'll be right back. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
go and start to do those things, and that's the purpose, that's the point, to start looking at what you were already conformed to believe in, you were comfortable using. Hey man, you got some symptoms, you got some problems, like you might not need pharmaceuticals, you might just need to toss this out the freaking window and get
Yep.
something new. You know what I mean? It might be just that simple. So marketing and talking to our fans that way dramatically change the business. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I want to say thank you for highlighting it. I think there's so many great takeaways today, whether you're in your own business, running a business. Hey, how do I scale? How do I grow? How do I expand? If you're a person inside of a company, hey, do I align with the company mission? Am I passionate about the type of work am I doing? And if you are, great. Maybe you need to find a new seat, like you mentioned, or maybe it's just not the right company, right? And you need to start exploring the next opportunity. And then I think the last thing, and I just want to continue to highlight this, is when you are passionate about what you're doing, taking a risk seems different, right? When you take a risk at 300, $3 million, all those different things, you say, if I wasn't passionate about it, I don't know that'd be worth taking taking the
Yeah,
risk, right?
absolutely. Yeah.
But when the mission is bigger than the dollar that I could make on it, the mission is, well, I want people to be informed, educated, and make good life health choices, right?
Yeah.
That all of a sudden becomes the decision. Well, is this going to help me do that versus, well, is this going to help me make an extra 10,000 or an extra $100,000 this year?
Yeah, and chasing money, like nobody really wants to be bill collectors or chasing dollars for the rest of it. Like that's not, you're living for something that is unachievable essentially. And there's like, what's the value of it? It keeps changing. What's the value of helping people? What's the
Yeah.
value of being like grateful for your environment and thanking and feeling the love and kindness to everybody? Like what, that doesn't change. That value is very, very same. But the dollar changes constantly. You lose 12 million today, you gain it tomorrow and day trade. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's,
Yeah.
don't chase that. It's endless, endless.
I love it. Well, Johnny, I want to say thanks so much for being on
I
today,
appreciate it.
man, and highlighting the growth of the company. And yeah, I think 2-3 years from now we'll be doing this again, and instead of being at 22 folks, we'll probably be at like 102 folks, and we'll
Yeah.
just be growing.
We got to do it earlier because we're expecting to have some massive growth this year. Massive.
Deal.
Yeah.
Well, maybe I'll make a 12-month notice then.
Do it, man. I'm fully on board. Oh, and we didn't say, yeah, it's johnnyslicks.com. Like I'm a
Yes.
terrible salesman, man. Like I don't I don't go to Johnny Slicks on Instagram, on Facebook. It's Johnny Slicks. Find us anywhere. And please shoot me a message. Like shoot me a DM. Let me know your struggles. Let me know what you're going through. I'll like inadvertently tell you what I'm going through. Like you unwarranted, ask my problems. Now I'm telling you. But I'm here for the connection. I'm here for the people. And that's what's real to me. That's my purpose. So let me know what's going on. Shoot me a message. Shoot me a comment. Don't feel nervous or embarrassed. Like I'm a normal dude. You know what I mean? Like I didn't know what kind of pants to put on today. You know what I mean? Like I'm a normal dude. Everyone, you know what I mean? I wish I
Yep.
had a suit like you. I wouldn't have been questioning. I'm like, what pants do I wear? You know, like I worry about my hydration. I'm just a normal guy. So please shoot me a message and let me know what you got going on so I can help you.
I love it. JohnnySlicks.com. Check it out.
Sure. Yeah. Thank you.